All right, we've had a really nice week of the market going higher. It basically went higher because we were largely oversold on almost everything. And we saw that the Treasury yields continued to retreat and the advancement of the dollar paused. And so it gave the markets an opportunity to come up off of their lows. And so the question that I'm asking myself today, is it time to pivot back bearish because we're going lower? Or is it time to pivot back to bullish to see a continuation of the run up that we've enjoyed from January to July of this year, to see a continuation of that? Well, I'm going to go into a handful of stocks. I'm going to talk about the SPY today, and I'm going to give you guys some of my trades. But I'll tell you one thing that's for certain. When I look at all of the stocks that I'm sharing with you today, there's one thing that they all had in common. They're just moving sideways in an extremely choppy and volatile environment. And so you want to be careful not to overtrade this kind of environment. You can find yourself getting in at the top. It drops $5, you sell, and then it turns right around and goes up $10. I'm seeing a lot of that in my own plays, and so I want you guys just to be mindful, to be more focused this week. I'm going to go into some of my focus trades here in just a minute. This is the Stocks with Josh show. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to everyone who already hit the like. If you're new to this page, I'm covering stock and crypto. I'm teaching technical analysis, and I'm giving you guys my trade setups every single day. Hit that subscribe to follow along. Well, this week, we've still got some big data coming out. We've got the September Fed minutes coming out today, and then we've got the Consumer Price Index report coming out Thursday. Now, we already saw that the PPI that we got here yesterday showed that inflation was remaining sticky, and so I have no reason to believe that the CPI is going to be any better. And I've been saying it, that I think that this is going to continue to be in an environment of stagflation, that we're moving from inflation to eventually stagflation because of all of the macro events. You know, you look at the fact that we've got expanding wars, global financial tensions between great countries and great economies. And so we're going to see continued sideways movement. We're going to see continued choppy waters. We're going to see continued headwinds, and we're going to see some continued inflation, which is absolutely going to convert into stagflation for quite a while. If we dive into the heat map of the S&P 500, one of the stocks that I know that if you guys follow this page that you see is standing out quite a bit is Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly went on an absolute tear at yesterday's market close. It ran up, and then today it's run up, and it went all the way back to all-time highs and made a new all-time high. And I'm just going to briefly comment on Eli Lilly. The fact of the matter is that we could be forming a double top here. We ran up to 600, came all the way down, ran back up to 600. And so for this to be bullish, we want to see it close above 605, because if it closes above 605 with some volume, then this thing absolutely can continue its run. A very bullish chart pattern for this entire year. It could continue its run up to $640, but right now it's going to face some headwinds, and so I'm watching it very carefully. I've enjoyed making some money on the way down. I'm looking for an opportunity to short this stock for a move back, but at the moment it's absolutely leaning bullish. If we look at the overall heat map of the S&P 500, you see that it's largely a mixed day, and we'll have to see where the markets go as we get closer to the close. All right, one of my big topics for today is going to be crypto. If we go over to the heat map of crypto, it's an ugly red day. Crypto moves in unison. It's just when the chart's red, it's almost all red. When it's green, it's almost all green. And so the main point that I'm going to draw out to you guys regarding Bitcoin right now is that even though the price has pulled back a little bit, it's really just in a consolidation. And if you look at the overall trend, the last two times that we dipped out of the trade range that I've given you guys, as identified by the rectangular box, each time it's actually made a higher low. Trend at the moment is still pointing bullish. And I want to share a really big news story for you guys that I think it's important for you guys to have your eyes on. And that was a report that came out by Fidelity, which says Bitcoin is fundamentally different from other cryptocurrencies. This was said by Fidelity Digital Assets. And there's just so many important quotes in this article I want to share with you. One of the first things that it identifies, though, is it says that this is not a superior payment method. So I repeat, what they're saying is Bitcoin is not a superior payment method to cash. However, it is a better store of value. So it's a better currency being a digital currency. And it goes on in this article to basically differentiate Bitcoin from all other cryptos. It's almost as if they're trying to say, don't look at all those other wild west cryptocurrencies that rise and fall, and most of them are rug pulls. Just focus on Bitcoin. Well, why are they doing this? Well, in particular, they have gone on a massive campaign to launch their own crypto trading Fidelity Foundation platform. They're getting in on the crypto business. That's what this entire article is about. And the first thing they're saying is, guys, focus all of your attention on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, I wanted to show you guys the platform that they're launching for Fidelity Crypto. And one of the things right away that I noticed is that it's a free to trade platform, which sounds great. But there's a little asterisk right above the free to trade part. And if you go down to the fine details of what they're actually advertising, they say that there's essentially something like pay for order flow, which allows them to collect up to 1% of every single transaction. And just to put that into perspective, if you were to buy an entire Bitcoin, let's say around $25,000, 1% of that would be $250. And so I will tell you that all of a sudden, the cost of a minimum transaction over on Coinbase does not look that bad. So the bottom line is Fidelity is coming out with a high focus on Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is extremely bullish for all of those who are considering an investment in crypto or are invested in crypto. And here's one of the reasons. Fidelity's base of assets that they manage and control is over $10 trillion. And they are beginning to build as we move closer to the halving event in 2024. April 2024 is always, that's a significant date. That's when we typically see a markup phase. So now they're going to have a steady stream of communication that goes to their many clients that tells them that Bitcoin is a good asset and should be a percentage of their portfolio, and they should begin to buy it through them. They're going to be collecting $250 or more on every single one of those Bitcoin transactions. And so they're trying to get in on the game. And it is a bullish news story overall. A couple other highlights from the news story that stood out to me. It says Bitcoin is fundamentally different from any other digital asset. They also said that it is the most secure, decentralized, sound digital money. And they said that Bitcoin should be considered first and separate from all other digital assets that have followed it. And it should be viewed as an entry point for traditional allocators looking to gain exposure to the sector. And so they're basically saying, like I said a moment ago, get some Bitcoin, start with some Bitcoin. You can also add some Ethereum. And we're here to offer you a non-rug pull platform. You don't got to worry about the Sam Bankman-Frieds or the FTX. You can go with a solid, stable Fidelity account. And so I think they're going to make a ton of money. And it's also a signal to you that even though Bitcoin is fluctuating in that rectangular box, it's already begun what I've called phase one of the Bitcoin bull run. And as soon as we get closer to the first quarter of 2024, we're going to get into that markup phase, and then hopefully you're not going to be looking back regretting not accumulating when this thing was around 25K. All right, I'm going to cover some trades of mine here and some popular stocks in just 1 second. If you are new and you're looking for a better trade platform and better trade tools, right now, the Mumu Trade platform, which is a zero cost to trade platform, which is available in the US, Australia, and Canada. Here in the United States, they're offering up to 16 free stock to open and fund an account. There is a link in the top pinned comment as well as the description of this video to get all of the details for yourself. All right, I'm going to dive into AMD. Last night, I gave a long-term trade setup plan for AMD to the Patreon, which is the Discord of the Stock Squad, which is me, Stockmo, Stock Up with Larry Jones, and Keenan Grace. I outlined exactly what I thought would happen in AMD's price action Over the next month, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an update on that today, I wanted to quickly cover a news story on AMD, which said AMD's AI chip shipments are set to surge in 2024 and 2025. Now, we've seen AMD pull back quite a bit, and I believe at the moment it's forming a bottom. And what I identified in the chart was an inverse head and shoulders pattern, which has yet to be confirmed or completed, but I'm going to begin to watch it. And what I've identified is that the neckline is right around 112. If my eyes are correct, it means that it really should come back to 112. And so today, on the low, I bought some call options. Even though the chart largely looked bearish, there was a little bit of a double top around $110.10. But betting on the fact that it needed to get to 112 to complete that inverse head and shoulders in the course of time, I decided to buy in today. Now I'm going to be watching it. You can watch it with me, and we're going to see if it gets up to that 112, where I'm going to sell and take profits, and then I'm going to turn around and buy some puts, because I think it's going to come under some pressure and eventually move all the way back to $101, which would then go on to complete the right shoulder of the inverse head and shoulders. And so I'm going to be riding it up today and tomorrow, and then I'm going to be hoping to ride it down from that point forward. But, none of us have a crystal ball. That's what I'm doing. I'd love to hear from you guys if you guys have been doing anything with AMD and if you think that makes any sense. Right now, I noticed today that the price went down on a reduced level of volume, which often tells me that there is less conviction on the downward move. The Eli Lilly play, it had gone down on lower volume, but when it went into the close, the market makers surged the volume much higher. And so it was no longer bearish. It shifted to a bullish sentiment. And so you really have to see how the day closes out. That's a very good reminder, even for me, to not try to read that too early. It really only matters where the volume is at the end of the day, market close and after market close. And in the case of Eli Lilly, the volume surged and the stock went higher, telling us after markets that it was time to buy and go long. But right now, as of this moment, AMD is showing lower volume on this pullback, which means that there could be less conviction to the downside at the moment, setting up for another move higher. Hey, again, let me know what you're doing with AMD. Then I wanted to cover APLD. I've gotten a ton of requests, and they went through earnings, and the earnings was actually pretty good, except for there was a problem in the earnings, and I'm going to break it down for you guys. There's a nice article out there by Benzinga which said, what's going on with Applied Digital shares today? What they did is they reported good earnings. They went up 425% year over year with an increase in revenue, beating market consensus. And you'd say, wow, that is great. That's exactly what we expected them to do. And then on top of it, their earnings per share were better than expected. They were only down 1 penny versus the consensus that they would be down 2 pennies. But here's where the problem lies. These guys spent too much money sending a panic through shareholders, and they dumped their shares. They don't have their spending under control. And I have seen this so many times with unprofitable penny stocks. This is a small cap penny stock company. They're not yet profitable. They're on the verge of profitability. They begin to do better, but they don't control their spending. And that causes a huge lack of confidence by Wall Street. They need to see that you can grow and protect profit margin, and that profit margin is actually going to increase as the revenue increases, and the APLD did the opposite of that. Then that's why they got the beat down. Specifically, overall, they lost 10 cents per share versus last year, the same time, they lost 5 cents per share. And so these guys have to do much better. I'm going to freshen up some technicals for you. Largely, I see that the last 3 days, this stock has been in the land of indecision. Wall Street really has been fighting. The bulls and the bears have been tugging back and forth to see who would win, because it has come down quite a bit. Could it break down more? Yes. I'll make it simple for you guys. If you lose the $5 price range, this has the ability to go all the way back to $3.61. Now, largely at the moment, I don't see an indication that we're going to break down beneath that $5 level. Some of this depends on the macro environment and what the rest of the year looks like for the overall market. But at the moment, we've been moving sideways since August on APLD. If you really look at where price action has, it's been moving sideways. So local support is $5. You could put a stop loss in at $4.77 to protect you from a major drop. But right now, I've got an up target on APLD of $6.80, and I'm leaning towards believing that we're going to begin to make our way back up there. I've been getting a ton of questions about SoundHound, ticker SOUN, and I will keep it very simple for you there. Largely, it's doing the same thing as APLD. It's come off of its big run up to $5. It's come all the way back. It's been in a bearish trend, and it's still in a bearish trend. But it came down to the $2 range, and it's been largely moving sideways. Now, for us to get positive or bullish about Sound, we need to see it reclaim $2.08. Now, if you're in it, and I'm in it right now, you should consider putting a stop loss somewhere beneath $1.70. I largely do not see Sound breaking down. I largely see it reclaiming the 208 level and then moving back up to around 250 or 260 because we're really just moving sideways in Sound as well. At the moment, it doesn't look extremely bearish, but there's no bullish confirmation until we get back above $2.08. All right, you guys know that I would love to cover Tesla today. Obviously, I'm watching it and trading it, but I don't have time to cover every stock. So if you want more from me, you can get more from me by joining the Patreon. I'm going to go in there today, and I'm going to be answering questions and giving technicals. I did it last night. I'm going to do it again today. There's a link for that in the top pinned comment where you can find me there. I also wanted to share with you guys that we're doing a Stock Squad live with the four of us tonight over on Stock Up with Larry Jones's page. I'm sure it's going to be an interesting and dynamic conversation there, so make sure to check that out. Thank you guys. If I've done well, then hit that like for me. Say hi, throw a heart in the comments. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Hit the subscribe if you want to continue to get these types of updates on stock and crypto. Talk to you guys soon. Peace and blessings. Take care.